Good afternoon. Všetko zapnuté tu máš. Počuje? Hello, can you hear us?
Píšu, že slyšej.
Slyšej. Okay, so little technical problem on the beginning, but hope everything is fine now. So good afternoon. We would like to welcome you to today's webinar. My name is Tomáš Guliš, and next to me sitting my colleague Jan Bína. We work in this company as lighting engineer. Together with us is also sitting in this room our colleague Daniel Novák. He's head of the technical department. He will be responding to your question in chat box, so please do not hesitate to ask him if you have any questions.
Thank you for your attendance. This webinar will be longer than previous one. We expect 2 hours today instead of half an hour previously. We prepared a sample project in different phases. What we can preparation and focus on basics of DIALux Evo. Halla is a partner of Dial, and this brings you Halla plugin with updated luminaires catalog. I see that we are still not all of us, so we can wait for a minute if everybody attends.
Okay, so now we can share another screen with the DIALux program.
So, is there any question?
No.
Daniel? No. Okay. So maybe we can start. Now you can see the screen of the DIALux Evo when after the start. There are more possibilities on the left side: outdoor and building planning, import plan, room planning, street lighting, simple indoor planning. There are 5 choices, but for us, or 3 of them are actually the same. There are just different beginning. So maybe we can start with the second one, import plan or IFC, which starts with importing drawing. So we start with the first floor, which is the first file. So please, Tomas, open it.
Okay, it's our building here in Prague, so we'll show you calculation on it.
So it's loading now. Yeah, now we can see it. The first choice is to draw the origin and the rotation. I think the origin now is not so important, and the drawing is okay. It's not necessary to rotate it, but we can show you how you can rotate it. Please, Tomas. It's if you use the left button on your mouse, you set the first point of rotation, and now you can see the angle of rotating. So that's how it works, but we don't want this, so please push back. And we will load the plan again.
Okay, so it's in the right position, so we can click on next. and we had to specify the scale of the drawing. You have to, but when you click on this, you have some options in which scale is the drawing. This one can be, I think that it's in meters. So I will click on it and I can check the length of inside the drawing. So it's correct. So it's
it's fine. So we can click on finish in this case. So now we have a project with imported drawing, and now we want to define building, but maybe we can start with introduction of menu, because the menu is specific. I think there are menu on top and on left. The left menu depends on the top menu. Yeah, we are now in construction, and there are possibilities of construction. But please choose the project. It's the first one.
Okay.
And here we can fill the name of a person who depends on the project. For example, please fill your name. So you can save your IDs here. So it's very simple to fill it. And now the project name, which is Halla building. So.
Then you can add other things like address here, and it will be shown in the documentation of calculation, maybe some description. So that's for the first project. Let's move to the construction.
Construction, as the name says, there is possibility to load the drawing as we did. We can draw a building, which is the basic for DIALux Evo. Then there are floors and rooms and for example, some ceiling and other objects you can load in the building. So this is construction. Then there is a light which brings possibility to import drawings into the project, and everything based on luminaires. So I think it's obvious. And then calculation objects, you can import surfaces with for calculation, as if you know, for example, UGR and other calculation. And the next one is export for saving or do some kind of print screen of the object of the building, room, depends on you, floor, and also for export drawing for AutoCAD. So, and the next one is documentation, which exports a PDF file of your calculation. So you can choose exact pages of the calculation. And the last one is manufacture, which brings you choice to select manufacturers of luminaires. We can find our company. I can see it, and there is also a link for downloading plugin. We are partners, so you can download the plugin, or you can see luminaires on our website and import it directly from web plugin. So this is it, and we can go back to the construction. And for the beginning, we start with the building. It's the second choice. It's called side.
Left menu.
On left menu, yeah.
And we choose the option draw new building. And now we have to find points on which are corners of the building, and by left click it will attach to it, and it's also attached to the DVG file, which is under the drawing. So let's click. Okay, so
it's simple. It's just a rectangle, but it could be everything else. It's just clicking on corners. And if we wanted to finish the object, then we have to click on the right button on mouse, and there is a choice to close the polygon. So please do it. And now we have the building. And if you did some, if you had some trouble or clicked badly, you can correct it. We can move the corner, the point,
just by clicking on it and moving. And there are other options like adding another point or deleting it. So you click on the right side of the mouse, and the menu will show you. So we can add point, or we can delete it. And now when we have the building drawn, you can we will escape it by escape.
Okay, so now we have a building, and we have the first story, but there are no rooms. So we have to, now we want to import the second drawing for the second floor, which is in the top of the left menu. It's called plans. So, and there is a option loading plan. So the second file is the second, it's for second floor. So open, and there is the same choices as previous. For the beginning, we have to set the origin and rotation. So it's not necessary right now. Next. And the unit, the scale is the same. So I think it's meter or not. We can check it. There is a check line.
We can check it. Yeah, it's meters.
Yeah. There are more. Okay, so I think you have to click it. You have to specify. Yeah. Okay. Finish. So now we have two drawings, but we want to move the second one because we want to have the drawings
one above another.
Yeah, one above another. So we want to specify the point on both drawings, which is the same. For example, the corner of the floor, or the staircase, or a pillar, or something else, which is the same. So in our case, it's the corner of the building. So we have to move. And move is in positioning on the left. There is a move plan. So we have to specify the corner on the second floor, and then click on the same position of the first floor, which moves the plan. And now we'll see that it's one above other. So it's correct because we have a building with 2 stories, and it's necessary to have both drawings on the same position. So, and maybe there is a time to explain the menu, which is in the 2nd row. Yeah, there is a side, which is the complete project. When we move on the right, there is a building 1. That's the building we draw in the beginning. And story 1 is the first story, which is just in the building. Then there is a choice of loaded drawings. There is 1st and 2nd floor. And if we turn off and turn on, just do what I said. So it's for the 1st floor, we wanted the first the drawing of 1st floor, etc. So, and then there is a 3D view. It's and now we have we see the building even with the drawing. After that, there is a 2D, the floor plan view. And after that, there are front and side and back views. But we will explain it in for next step when it will be useful. So now we wanted to duplicate the floor because we have just 1 story. So it's the 3rd option, story and building construction on the left. And there are more choices. We can draw a new room, indoor contour, outer and new empty story. But we wanted to duplicate story. So maybe we want to set the height of the story because 2.8 is not exact. There is
1st floor has 3.3 meters.
Thickness is right, so we don't want to change it. And now we can duplicate the story. It's empty, so please, it doesn't matter if we select or deselect these parts. So we can duplicate it all. So now you can see we have 2 stories. The 2nd one has the name story 2.
But it's a little bit higher, so we will change the height of it. It's done. Okay.
I think that's all for the beginning. Now we have to move into the first file of the project, the first phase. So please open and choose. It's called building number 1, where is drawing, which means that there is the cut of the building. We can show it. No. Drawing. Okay. So now we have floor plan view, and there is the cut of the building where we have the staircase. Yeah, maybe you can turn off the 1st floor drawing, and now it's more understandable. So.
Okay, so. We will show you how to draw a room in the building. So we will start with on the 1st floor with the floor 102. We go to in the left menu. We go to the story and building construction and choose draw new room. And it's the same like drawing the shape of the building. So we just click. in corners of the room, and we draw the exact shape of this floor room. It's a little bit complicated, but
I think it's simple in that case that we have the drawing, so just clicking on exact points, and it's not necessary to draw a room which is 15 meters by 5 meters and then cut it with some objects. This is, I think, exact and simpler, I think. And for the finishing, there's the same situation. Click on the right mouse and choose close polygon. Same as for the building. But if you did some mistake or something, then you can change it. You just click on the on the corner or some
side of the building.
Side of the building. Thank you. And then you can see the room again. It's gonna be blue, and you can move with all the points. Depends on your mistake.
You can also add or delete some points if there are some more or less. Like this, and now I can delete it.
Yeah.
So, and to go out from this room, I just have to click on escape. The room is now drawn.
Yeah, and in this case, we have here part of the room where is different ceiling, different heights. So we will add one more ceiling. It's also the menu on the left. It's called ceilings. Obviously, it's almost in the middle. And there are two choices. The first one, which adds ceiling in all the room. For example, if you have a story of big building and there is different height in rooms, so you have in general the same height in all rooms, but you add this ceiling in every room depends on exact height. So it's more clear for the preparation. But as I said, we just want to add ceiling in just a part of the room. So we choose the second choice, draw new ceiling. And now we do the same, click on corners of the place and set new ceiling. It's just a rectangle, so we will finish it by right mouse and choose close polygon. And now we can see it.
It's going to be better to see it in 3D model. So we will click on the 3D model icon and move there. But as you can see, we are now in the story, so we cannot see the room. So we can move to the room here in the, and we see the whole room in 3D. And in the blue, marked with the blue, we can see the ceiling that we have designed a few minutes ago. It has options. It can be with closed sides or without closed sides, as you can see right now. And you also can set the height of the room by writing the exact number here. Maybe it's going to be 2.8 meters, so it's going to change here.
and escape with escape.
Yes.
Is the same. There is same behavior for everything, which is really welcoming. It's a good change if we compare it with previous version of DIALux. So and now we have two stories, and but just one room. So we want to add a room into story 2, which you can see has a different shape, because that's the reason why we prepared these phases, file phases. And now we want to prepare a room which is corridor, but also there is a staircase which is the same with the first floor. So we have to choose the third option, which is called story and building construction. Now we are in story 2, which is chosen, and now we can draw another room.
It's the same principle as we did downstairs.
So yeah, and again the same for finishing, right mouse and close polygon. So now we have two rooms, both in different floor. So now we want to join it or do how it looks like in reality. So there is a cut between those floors. There is no ceiling. So we wanted to do that, and it's a cutout option on the left side. It's how to describe the icon, but Thomas is pointing on it by mouse. And there are more options: rectangle, cutout, circular, and polygonal. It's not directly a rectangle cutout, so we will choose polygonal cutout. There is a question. Did you do the cutout?
No, I just didn't. I was also checking the question.
Okay. We have a question. Please, Daniel, show us how you switch on the right plan. We can show you again the second row of the menu, where is the building, story, and the room. It is for the view. Yeah, you can choose between building, story, and room, and between 3D and 2D. And there is also the drawing choosing. So you can, if you click on it, you will turn off or turn on, or just on the. You can choose in the selection.
Which drawing to have. So we are now in the story 2. So we are using second floor plan.
Yeah, I think you can show how it looks like with the first floor. Yeah, I hope this explains. It's okay. And now back to the cutout. Please select polygonal cutout, and we will. Sometimes it resists, so we. Okay, now we have the point.
Okay, we have problem. So we're gonna do one and then choose it, change it. So
yeah, we can just move points into exact positions. It's not necessary to draw it correctly. We can change it as you can see. And now we have the cutout. Yeah, it's exactly as in reality. And now we can show it in 3D.
Yes. So it's going to be better in the room.
Yeah. So the red area is with cutout. Maybe you can click on it and you can change it even in 3D, but we don't want to because it's not so precise. That's it. We will use it for the staircase. And,
okay, so
now we can move to the second file, I think.
yes, it's going to be file number 2, building number 2 rooms. In this file, we have all the rooms set, and we just want to save time by not drawing all the rooms.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there are some more rooms like hall plus staircase and offices that we will demonstrate other things on them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you can show it in 3D. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. So the floor has a different shape, as I said previously, and there is the cutout, which is black in this view. So now we can draw the staircase. Yeah, we can start with it.
Okay, so it's going to be better on the first floor. So let's change there. We also have okay, I have some problem. Okay, now it's working. Let's move to 2D model, and we have gut view from side. It's called schodiště. So let's open it there just by clicking on it. And now we can see.
Yeah, we can see it, but there is even the first floor. I think it's better to
Yes, I will
turn off.
And turn off the first floor. And now we can see the stairs here. So let's draw them. You have to choose furniture and objects, which is also in the left menu, and choose the option draw extrusion body. And by clicking as it was in drawing of the room or building on the sides of the staircase, you just draw the whole staircase. This.
So it's easier than to prepare every step as a single object. So this is more
efficient.
Yeah, it's quicker and easier for changing if you want to change the color, for example, of the whole staircase.
Okay, and by right-click and close polygon, just finish. Now we have for the staircase, but it's not on the right position, so we can move it by clicking on the staircase and using right mouse. You have the menu, you can rotate, move, edit polygon, many options. We will choose move, and we will move it to the part where it should be. So it's going to be here. As you can see, it's also not well rotated. So now we'll change to the option rotate. And I think it's going to be better to rotate in 3D. So let's change to 3D model. And best thing will be that we will see it in the exact room. So now we are rotating the staircase. Oh. Okay, so now it's well rotated, but as you can see, we have no 90 degrees, so just fill it with 90 and it's...
You can see that there are axes, colored axes, which and the color is the same in the top on the left side, yeah, where for easier understanding.
Okay, now you can see that it is not in the right height. So let's move to the side view of this room. Okay, we're gonna use this one and move the stairs to the bottom of the room.
You can use also the axis or the points of corners.
Yes, also with the blue points in the corners of the staircase. So now it's in the right height, but it's not in the right position. So let's move to the 2D model. Use the drawing of the first floor and move the stairs where they should be. Now we can see that it doesn't have the right width. So it's written in the drawing that it should be 1 meter 35 centimeters. So we just change it here on the left side in positioning. There is a size, and we write there 1 meter 35 centimeters, and the stairs will be the exact shape that we want. Mm-hmm. We will just check it in 3D model. Okay, so.
But we can show you the second option if you are not sure with the width. We can change it just based on the drawing. If you can show us the floor plan, and there is a scale. It's called scale, and it means that you can change the width. Very simple. If you move just on the core. On the side, then you can see that you can move with the side, and it prolongs or shortens the distance. So this is the second option how you can move it. Yeah, even for. Yeah, so it's very simple. You don't have to know the exact width of all objects if you have the right scale. And now we have a question: if we can modify stairs if it's finished. We can explain it, but yes. Simple answer is yes.
Yes, it can be modified by clicking on the stairs and clicking edit polygon, but it's a little bit harder. It's good to do it in side view. Now you can, as I can see, there is no 90 degrees angle, so I can correct it or do this.
But if we want to correct it based on the drawing, we have to rotate it back and move it to the position of the drawing. So now it's late for the exact correction. But if you saw that we have some small mistakes in few steps, it's fine to do it now. So.
Okay, so this is for the stairs. We will not draw another part of the stairs because of saving the time. And now we can move on to adding another parts of building like windows and doors. So we will move to the story number 2 and office 215. And we will show you how to draw a window there.
Yeah, it's still the construction menu, and there the option is called it's called apertures. Yeah.
Okay.
And there are more options. You can position active building opening or draw new building opening. So we will choose the second one, or before that we can choose the exact type of window. So please click on select. One more. Okay, so now we can see different types of windows. It could be round or free wing, and different kinds of windows. So you can choose in this catalog. Just one click, maybe you can show it with the round or for different type. So we will use the standard window for drawing. So now we can back and click on draw new building opening. And the setup is simple. Just click on the left side and on the right side of the window, and this brings the window. But we will see in 3D view that it's not everything okay, because go back office one. Yeah. No.
As you can see, the windows is really small, so you can change the measures of it. We can change height. I think that it's going to be around 2 meters. Okay, you have to click on the window. I made a mistake, and then you can choose the dimension. So let's change height. 2 meters. Width is fine because we drew it based on the drawing, and frame width, I think it's okay with this measure, and also the sill height, it's gonna be like, I think 0.5 meter, it's okay. So now we have the first window, and we want to draw another windows in this room. So you can just copy it with copy and paste.
But I prefer to turn on the drawing, because we can't see it. Please turn it on. And yeah, because normally the drawing is turned on in the story, but not in the rooms. So for the room you have to turn it on. So now we have go back, and we can use just Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V for copying.
So just click on the window, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, and it's on the same position as as the first one was. But don't be afraid. There are 2 windows right now, and you can move it to the right direction. And as you can see that it's we can change the width of the window by using the scale, or just changing the width here in the dimension window.
But in this case, it's easier to just move the side. Almost. Yeah, now we can move if there is the axis.
Yes, and now we can check it in 3D model. Okay, so now we have 2 windows. We will not add another more because of the time. And then now we want to show you.
Yeah. Now we can see that there is a wall with some painting. There are maybe bricks, and you can choose it on the left side. It's called materials, and if you click on the wall, you can see the name. Yeah, unfortunately, we have it in a Czech, so I'm sorry for that. But
just simply red bricks.
Red bricks, yeah. So you can see a reflection factor, and you can change it actually. Maybe we can show it if you set, no, not the painting, but for example, if we change the reflection.
By moving this or just writing the exact number here.
So different reflection.
You can also change the type of a material. Now it's painted, but on the other side of this room we have transparent material. As you can see, it's changed and
it's in advanced properties. So maybe you can show what's more options there is.
3 options.
Yeah, metallic, painted, and transparent. It's what we need. It's fine option. So and how you can change it? The material of the wall. Can you copy it from one wall to another?
Yes, you can do it. You just click on this option, pick material. If I want to have, I want to use material like was on this wall. I click on it. I have it here, and then I use the option apply material and click on the wall where I want to have it applied. So this wall is now also with transparent material with the same values of reflection factor and another and another.
Okay. So it's simple. There's no problem. And can you change the type of material in the whole room, or you can just select one wall?
Okay, you can do it in the whole room by picking up the material and by using drag and drop on some wall in the room. It will apply on all walls of the room. As you can see, all walls now
are the same. Okay, so it's also simple.
Okay, so I think that now we can move to another file, number 3, where all the materials and windows will be done.
Yeah, we can skip it. It's not. Okay, there is a question. Maybe you can find the right file, and I'll explain it. With which file do you work, DWG or PDF, when you start build the room? We definitely prefer AutoCAD files, yeah, because as you can see, it helps a lot with the preparation. PDF is not supported. You can use print screen, for example, from the PDF, but it's not as simple as AutoCAD file. So we definitely prefer AutoCAD files. So, yeah. Okay, so now we have opened the third file. It's called Windows Doors plus Standard. It means that now we have all the windows and doors included in whole building. So
as you can see, there are also doors and windows everywhere in the building.
For the doors, it's the same system as Windows. Yeah, you just click on two points and insert the specific item. And now we are going to include luminaires in the building, because until now it's just construction. So we have light option in the menu.
So just change there.
And there are options for importing luminaires, but now we want to check our plugin. Yeah, so we have to change the sharing of the screen. So we will go to our browser.
Okay, so we now need to import luminaires from plugin. You can use the online plugin from the link that we have sent you in the email, in the previous mails, or you can just come to our site, come to menu, go to the support, and change support tools, and then in the middle you can find DIALux plugin, and there is English version of it, so we will use it now. We will do calculation of offices, so we have to find some office luminaire. Zuli is our used office luminaire.
We can choose the mounting type.
Yes.
Continue. We will prefer suspended because Zuli is indirect luminaire. So please choose suspended.
Yes.
And the shape. Actually, there is just one option. Please show us. Yeah, it's quadratic. And the dimension. There are two types, two lengths. So we choose the longer one. Yeah, I think. So it's and the last option is luminance flux. We prefer the highest one, so 8,000 lumens. So and now we have just 6 options in 3 colors. So there is just opal or louver. So we will prefer louver because it's office and we want to prove UGR. So we will choose this one.
Yes, and by clicking on this, you will send it or import it to the DIALux program.
Yeah, there is a question if we want to start it, so we have to choose yes. And
now we can start sharing the DIALux window.
Change it. So we can see it. Okay.
Here we can see that the luminaire here is imported. You can see small picture, also the dimension of illumination.
Yeah, and there is also designation in the AutoCAD plan. It remembers our number, so we set number 1, but we can change it. It could be what you want in the drawing. So number 1 is fine. So
okay,
so that's it. Of course, yeah, there is another question. Is it possible to use LDT file? How? It's very simple. You can see LDT file is also drag and drop from your Explorer or the file manager you have. So it's very simple. Maybe and maybe there is also option import luminaire file. Click on it, and yeah, it's for yeah, you can open this one. So in that case, there is no photo. There is just bulb, which says that it's from LDT. It's not from plugin.
Okay, so we will be using this luminaire, and
so there is some kind of history. So if you click on select, it remembers luminaires you used in past. So please use the Zuli, just one click. And now there are options how to import this luminaire into the building. So maybe we will start not with the building, but with just one office. It's 1.15, as you remember, and it's easier to use floor plan view instead of 3D because there is no sense to use 3D for importing luminaires. And the first option is a rectangle arrangement. It could be also polygonal if you have different shape of the room, and circular or line or automatic. All the options are useful, but in this case we just use the rectangular arrangement, the first one. So, light option.
It's the same principle as we used in drawing a building. Just change the corners of the room and you have the rectangular arrangement. Just 3 simple clicks. Now we can see that the DIALux put 4 luminaires in 2 rows, but we want to change it. We know that we will use their 10 luminaires, so you can change the number of luminaires here in the grid arrangement. So it's going to be 5 in 2 rows.
You can enter it with enter or tabulator. It depends on you. There are more options for arrangement, alignment, as in previous DIALux. With change the positions of luminaires in the rectangle we draw. So back to the first one. And as you can see, there are 5 luminaires in 2 rows, and there are lines, colored lines. There are green lines and red lines. So you can call them red, and you can move these lines. If you move the how is it called? If it's not. I'm sorry. So you can move with lines. Dashing, yeah. So if the line is dashing, it means that the position of the line is based on other lines, the full lines. So if you move with the dashing line, it's gonna be the full line. So. And it's the same for both type of lines. You can move with the other line too. And in the end, if you know that all the changes are wrong, you have to go back. Then you can change the number of luminaires, for example, back to the 4, enter, and back to 5. And it's gonna be in the previous position. If you want to move luminaires, rotate it in 90 degrees, there are 2 options. You can rotate it to the right or to the left. It doesn't matter in our case with this luminaire. So it's very simple. You don't have to write any number. Just click on the button. And now, if you want to move with one of those luminaires, because you have the arrangement, and in previous DIALux, it was impossible to move with one of those, because if you wanted to do, you have to destruct the arrangement, and you, instead of one arrangement, you had 10 individual luminaires, which is not very it's not good because it's confusing. It's complicated if you have more luminaires. But now it's easier. You have to change it from lines into polygon. So it's in the second row of the menu, and now we see the rectangular arrangement. And if you click on one luminaire, no. Yeah, and it's going to be red. And now you can move, rotate, delete, everything what you want with this one. You can rotate.
Also rotate it.
And in the end, you can delete it. So just press delete. And we still have, if you click on other luminaire, you can move it. Yeah. But in the end, it's a stale arrangement. So if you click, if you click with the right button on the luminaire, then you can change if you edit polygon or grid lines. So now you can see on the left that we still have arrangement 5 by 2, but there are just 9 luminaires. Yeah, you can see. So if we change the number of luminaires back to 4, for example, we have the original arrangement. 5, we are back. So it's simple and easy. One more question. If it's possible or how to change the height of luminaires. So we can't see it here because it's below.
You have to scroll down. Yes, and there is a mounting height of the luminaire. When you just click and set the right value what you want. So in this case, we will use maybe 3 meters or 3.2. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah, because if you, for example, if you do it in different order, you draw a room, then import luminaires, and after that you set the ceiling. It could start with, you could have luminaires out of the room, yeah, between those 2 ceilings. So for this case, there is a button apply again, which sets the height for the original height. For example, for pendant luminaires, it means 40 centimeter suspension. So and how it works. So it's very simple. In the end, you don't have to know how high is the ceiling. So it's a good option.
Okay, so now we have all the luminaires in the position, and we can process to the calculation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, we can go to the calculation.
Okay, so to start the calculation, you have to click in the right side on the play button. It's called Start Calculation. It's gonna be calculated, and there are gonna be results on the right side.
We weren't talking about that there is a box with all the calculation objects. We still have none of them, but there is one default, and it's as you can see, it's half a meter from sides of the room, and it brings us very good light level, 834 luxes with good uniformity. If you want to change the luminous flux, you can do it. There is a possibility you can change it. On the left side there is a bulb, the second icon, And if you click on luminaires, you can see a luminous flux and fitting. So if you change the luminous flux, for example, 5,000, you have to enter it without it and then apply. Yeah. If you don't do it, it doesn't apply. Yeah. So and now you can see we still see the result of previous calculation, but there is a warning that it's necessary to calculate again. So we will do it.
Yes. Let's click on the start calculation.
We still have more than 500 and the same uniformity, of course. So this is one choice. There is more choices, but I think it's not point of this webinar. We can go to the next file, which adds luminaires in all the rooms.
Okay, so let's move to the file number 4. As my colleague has said, there are luminaires in all rooms, and we will, in this part, we will add furniture to the offices. Just we need to wait to open it.
So we have it, and what next? Then we have the calculation with empty room, just with luminaires. But now we have luminaires everywhere, but no furniture. So we want to add some objects and furniture. So we'll go back to the office 2.15.
Yes.
So we are in the story 2, it's correct, and choose 2.15. We can turn on the drawing. So
as you can see, we don't have any plans for the furniture, so we will do it by our thoughts or how we want it. So let's move to the furniture and objects.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we can, and there is exactly furniture and objects on the left, and we can add objects. There are more options, similar to luminaires. So there could be rectangular arrangement, polygonal, circular, and etc. But for the beginning, we want to set the exact object. So please turn on select, click on select, and there is some kind of history of objects and catalogs, the last option, and we will open it. For the first time, it takes more time to open it, but it's not so long. Yeah. And the database is updated. We want to add some tables because it's office. So we will choose office furniture. We want to insert tables. So click on tables, and now we can see tables. A lot of objects, and we can see there are width in the name. So the dimension. So I expect that our table is typical office table, which has 1 meter and 60 centimeters, and we can choose, for example, delta. It's nice kind of furniture. We have 2 options, or maybe more options. If we double click, it adds into if you move with this window, we can see it's now active object, or you can see or you can use drag and drop, thank you, and import it directly into the room.
Okay, so now it's imported to the room, and you can move it like we did with stairs. Maybe we will need more tables there, so you just click on it, use Ctrl+C, then Ctrl+V, you have another one there, and you put more tables inside the room. So maybe we'll have 6 of them there. And now we want to see it in 3D model, how it looks like. Yes, so you can see that there are 6 tables inserted to our office.
Yeah, yeah. And we have one more question here. It's it's about the changing of luminous flux. There is a question if it was correct change, because if we have plugin with exact luminous flux, possibly the luminous flux is correct. So yes, it's not correct to change it. It's possible in the program, but it was representing the option in the program. We can produce luminaires with different luminous flux. It's not a problem. We do a typical solution for you, and we definitely don't add atypical luminaires into our plugin. So you can change it, or for example, it could be because of some DALI system. Yeah, if there is a if you expect use system with the same kind of luminaires but a different light level, you can do it like this. But there are more options. It's not just this one.
Okay, so we have now just some tables inside the room, and I think that we will move to another file where we have furniture in all offices. So it's going to be file number 5. It's called furniture. Okay.
It's obvious.
Obvious. And now we will add calculation objects inside the offices on tables, and also calculation of UGR. Okay, so maybe we can check how it looks in 3D with all the tables.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So story number 2.
Okay.
Now you can see the offices are fully fit with tables, chairs, doors, windows, and lights. And now we need to add a calculation object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. There is a question if we can change the color or the material of the table. Is it possible?
Yes, it is. It's the same as changing the material of the wall. You have to click in the construction on the button materials, and then you click on the table. We can see that it has reflection factor for 50%. You can change the reflection factor, or you can change material from catalog as we've done on the wall.
So you can choose material and color.
Okay, maybe it's going to be indoor. We don't want any concrete. We just want some wooden material. So maybe American cherry will be fine. And now we just click on apply material and click on the table. So now we will check it in 3D. Okay, so now, as you can see, the material is changed on the table, just on this one.
So
okay, I just changed it back.
Okay. So it's easier to change it, even for the furniture, not just for walls. And now we want to add calculation areas, calculation objects. We will use again the room 2.15, and there is in the menu there is calculation objects. Yeah, it's just after light. And now we can see the room, and there are options on the left. There is calculation objects and work areas, for example, is the third one. It's for, as it explains the name, it's for offices where people work. So please choose the third one. And there we can draw rectangular or polygonal calculation objects. So we will choose the rectangular and we will draw it on the table, or we can And now you can see there is an area around the surrounding area. It has half a meter. And actually you can see it, it's in advanced properties. You can change it, but it doesn't make a sense. Maybe it's better to change the name, because
yes, you can change the name.
No one knows who is working area 44.
And you can also change the position, but now it's set to the 0.75 meter, so it's fine. We don't have to change it.
It's based on the table, or if there is no table, there's gonna be 0.
It's based on the setting that you've done in the beginning.
So okay. So it doesn't matter if the table is or not.
Yes.
Okay. And there are more options. Yeah, space. It says what is the type of the room. We weren't talking about it. Maybe we can go back and explain it after this. And isomers and value chart settings. We just set automatic, but you
those
can
are
change
settings for documentation, and I think that we don't need it right now. This is the calculation for illumination on the table. Let's add there another calculation object for UGR for the worker sitting near the table. So now we have to change to the calculation objects
on the left.
On the left, yes, and we will also draw a rectangle calculation object. We'll start here.
Yeah, we will start in the left corner.
Also takes part of.
Because of the orientation, it's better to have the left corner.
Okay. We have the calculation object for UGR, but it's not set right now. We have to set it in this menu. So let's start with the properties. You can change name of it. So it's going to be UGR. Place number 1. Then you have to change position. It's set to 0.72 meters. It's wrong due to the standard. We use 1.2 meter for sitting persons. Then you can also change rotation, but it's fine right now.
Maybe, there is a difference with working areas, work areas and calculation objects. The calculation objects, it's set on if there is a table, it has the height as a table, but not work areas. So it was necessary to change it even for calculation of luxes.
Mm-hmm. So. And now we want to change parameters which have to be calculated on this calculation object. Here we do not want illuminance, but we want UGR. So it's the sign with the glasses inside. And now you can set a step on
the orientation of the view. So,
yeah, and also the orientation of the view.
We have in this office, there is exact view for every worker. Usually everyone looks just in the monitor behind on the table. So there is not necessary to do some kind of area. So there is just one angle of view, so please set 180 to 180, just direct view, and it's not necessary to set offset the first option because we just set the height in positioning.
Okay, so there are other options. This is the setting of place.
Mm-hmm, the space. Yeah.
The space.
We will show you how to change it just after the UGR option.
Yes, and for setting for measuring grid, it's set right now automatically, but you can change the number of points here by clicking on quantity. Maybe if you have more, if you want to have more in the epsilon axle, you just add more points there. So as you can see, right now there are more points.
Or we can change it just the distance. Yeah,
yes.
If you change the distance, we want the same distance in both axes. So we set 0.3. It brings 5 to 4.
But it's best way is to set it automatically.
Yeah, it works very well. And after that, there are isolines and value chart settings. Even for these, we use automatic. It's not necessary to change it. We can just show you the options.
Yes.
Yeah. So now we have calculation objects, and as I said, we will show you how to change the setting of the room. Yeah. So please go to the construction, and there is an option on the left. It's called spaces. It's sixth from the top, and if you click on the room, but now we have just the room, so the only one option. And here we can change the name of the room, the description we can add, and there is also an edit option in properties. We can change the template selection. It's based on the norm, so we have here offices and writing and reading, which is the one we choose for.
Yes,
for the
there are many other options due to the standards, but right now we are dealing with offices, so we have chosen this one.
At offices, there are a few more options,
yes,
as not just writing and typewriting, but technical drawing and conference and meeting rooms. So it's different order than the norm, but you can find it easily. And you can change the height for the work plane and the distance from wall, but and even if you want to create the working plane. So maybe you can show, for example, half a meter of wall zone, how it looks like. Yeah, very simple. So this is the calculation area for the whole room, and we have here the setting of Yeah, we have everything we need for the offices. So now we can go to the calculation.
Okay, so we have to start the calculation. Also clicking on this. It's going to do calculation only of this room. And now we can see that on the right side we have results. We can see that all results are good. They due to the standard because they are marked with the green color. If it would be not due to the standard, it will be red. Maybe I can show you how it looks like.
It works like a semaphore. So if we change, for example, number of luminaires, so back to the light, and click on luminaire, and now we can change the number of luminaires. And for example, you can delete the line. Yeah, we didn't delete it. So now please delete one of these lines. No. I mean, we can add line by right button, and then we can delete it. So it's not necessary just change numbers. You can change it here. And now if we calculate it, it brings us worse results than previously, and you can show. You can see the semaphore is red, but UGR is very well known. Okay, so how it works. It's very it's good for big projects, or if you don't have just one room, because we can see results for whole building. So if we move to the building, then we can see results of all rooms. If we calculated all the rooms, because we calculated just one room, we were on one room. So maybe.
I think that now it's time to move to another file where we have all the rooms with all calculation objects, and so it's the final calculation. So it's going to be file number 6.
And now you can see. If the DIALux is starting, there is not just the option of choosing how to create new project, but there is also some kind of history. It was in the middle of the option. So and now we have complete. Not just the floor, we have both floors filled with luminaires. We can see it in 3D.
Yes. The first floor, maybe you can have the whole building.
And you can see even in the, wait a second. Yeah. How it looks like. So yeah, you can see how the
stairs
looks like.
And also the offices.
You can see it from outside.
Yes. Okay, so maybe now we can do the calculation for the whole room.
For the building.
For the whole building. It's gonna take some time.
Yeah, a lot of offices and transparent walls. So one luminaire change light level in different room. So it's different. It's different to the previous DIALux. And another change in DIALux is you can open more files in one time. Yeah. In previous DIALux, it was possible to open just one. We use it the same, but it's just because of sharing screen, or not just the screen, but the window. So we don't want to change the sharing every time with changing of files. So that's the reason why we didn't use it, but it's possible and very useful if you, for example, looking for changes, or if you want to copy and paste something from one to another, and etc. A lot of things you can use with two or more more files opened in one time. And now we can see some of our whole building.
Yes, the calculation is done right now, so we can see all calculation objects that we have added to the project. It's divided into the stories, then also into the rooms, like hall, offices. You see that all marked with the green are have results that are satisfying the standard, or fulfilling the parameters of standard. Maybe that's all for the calculation. Let's move to the export and documentation.
Yeah, definitely. One more thing, maybe we didn't explain you the possibility, which is just next to the results overview. It's just below the cancelling of calculation. So it's called display option, and if we click on it, we can choose, for example, false colors. It's the red round symbol, and now we can see false colors in whole building, but we can change the view for just the story or one room. We can see light distribution. Yeah, thank you. If we click on the luminaire, the distribution shows. Yeah, we can
to change to. You can see the distribution of the light from this luminaire, maybe from this also. You can see it's direct, indirect luminaire.
And of course, we can turn off the calculation areas. It's just with clicking on this icon. Now we have understandable view.
Without.
So there are more options how to see the result, and now we can change or we can go to the export. Export has two options. One is to save print screens, and another is exporting DWG file into the AutoCAD. So the first one is this one, and if we rotate or zoom in the room, or
I think it's going to be better to show it in the room.
Okay,
it's nicer. So we just want this view on the room. Mm-hmm. You can make a picture of like visualization of this room by saving new view, and you just rename it. You can use it in the documentation.
Mm-hmm. And it's possible just for the room, or we can use it even for story or building?
It can be used also for story and also for the whole building, but I think it's better to use it for a room, because for the story it would look like this.
Mm-hmm. But you can turn off the drawing.
Yes.
It's more understandable now.
Yes.
I think the view from outside is very cool. So we can do one of those views. Okay, so and, another option is the drawing export. It's the third one. It's called plans, and it exports everything you see here. It's the story, room, windows, luminaires. It's up to you. What do you take? Luminaires and objects. So we can select everything we have. We can choose the version of the drawing. For example, 2010 is more more problematic, we can call, and then we can choose the unit, meters, but it was in meters, so we can set it. And now we can export, but what do we want to export? We want to export the room or the story of the whole building. If we export the building, how it looks like?
They're going to be all luminaires on the same plan, so for all stories. So it's going to be really hard to see which luminaires belong to which story. So it's much easier to export it by floors.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the story number 2. We just want to show you how quick it is in comparison to the old DIALux, where it always took many minutes. Now it's in the time of seconds or maybe a few minutes. So just do the export to the new file. Okay, this name.
Yeah, we can.
And now it's exporting. You can see here down on the left side. And now it's done. So yeah, it was really quick. But we will not open it, I think.
I think it's not necessary. It was demonstrating the speed, because it's very, very different speeds at all. Then we can go to the documentation, and there we can use the pictures we did, for example. There are a lot of pages. And you can choose what you want. For example, in this selection, there are a lot of pages. You don't want to export everything, definitely. And the first page, the cover page, there is a rectangle which is the position for some pictures or visualization. Thank you. And you can configure it. So how we can configure it?
Well, we can configure it by clicking on configure page or using F2 button. Now we have here some existing graphics. So in the beginning of on the cover page, I want to use maybe this picture. So I will just drag and drop it there. Or I can use the add button here. It has more options. And now I can go back to or I can import some picture from my files with using import.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I will go back to the page view with also clicking here or using F2 button, I will see that the picture I have chosen is on the cover page of the document. Okay, now you can choose which pages you want to have there by clicking on edit and by picking the right pages. Okay, so maybe we don't want to have all product data sheets there, so we just click here and all of them will not be shown in final documentation. We don't want glossary, maybe we want content, so we will leave it there. And
we can use it even for story or for building, because we can have more buildings. So.
Yes, you can just export one building or just one room, one story, or everything. It has very variations. Or
mm-hmm. So it's a big difference to the previous version of DIALux 2, because in this in the export of red DIALux, it was necessary to pick every page separately.
Yeah. Okay, so that's how you do the documentation. Maybe now we will show you some results in the documentation that we have calculated. So let's move to our favorite room 215 and see calculation objects.
A lot of calculation objects in 2.15. I think there are 15 tables, and for everything there is a UGR and 3 different calculation areas.
So this is the first page where it's all summarized up. Every calculation object in the room is drawn here, and when you scroll down you will move to another. In this first part you have the whole room, and here are all working places and their results by the green tick.
Yeah.
It's marked that it also fits the standard requirements. So you can see this is the working place for illumination, and now we will move to the UGR calculation objects. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, now you can see it. Here are the UGR calculation objects. Let's show it on this one because it has higher UGR than the first one.
Yeah, it is almost 17, and the norm says the maximum is 19. So there are round diagram and which shows you how the UGR is, how high is the UGR. So you can see, maybe we can zoom it, that there's plus minus on the right.
Yes.
It takes seconds. Be a little bit more with controls and scrolling. Okay. I hope it's better to see that on the right corner, on the top, there is 17, and even almost in the corner below. So there are rounds. The biggest one is 19, and the smallest one is a smaller one. I can't see it. But if it's higher than 10, so there is a line, and the length of the line is based on the UGR value. So here we can see the UGR is higher in corners. It's typical for this kind of calculation. So if we have the UGR higher, we can see it better, but we want to prove the norm with UGR. So we choose luminaires good for this calculation. Okay, and what about summary? What is in the summary?
Summary.
I expect there is the same like in previous version. So here is the drawing of the room with luminaires, even values of fluxes.
Yes, but you can choose it to change it if you want by clicking on configure page or using F2 button. You choose what you want to have there. So maybe we don't want to have a value chart, but we want to have it in false colors. And it will now change back to the page view, and now it is different, as you can see.
It looks better, I think, now. And what more is in the summary?
In summary, that there are all results summed up on one paper or maybe.
So it summarizes all the calculation
Yes,
areas.
also
There is even UGR.
UGR is there, yes. It takes the highest value for the whole row and it put it inside here, just one value, and you have also the luminaire list here. So this is the basic information about the project calculation.
It's summary, yeah. Okay, and
I think that's all for the documentation.
So we can now show you how to export the documentation.
Yes.
Yeah. It takes time, as in previous DIALux. It depends on number of pages. So for the explanation, we can turn off the story too,
yes.
Which shorten the time. So there are more possibilities how to export, but the quickest one is the choice on the top, show entire documentation. And now we can see it's exporting, preparing, because we exporting is the next step. A few seconds. So now we have it. It's open on page 8. There are 25 pages.
Yes, so let's move to the first page.
So now we can export it. Yeah.
Yes, just by clicking on Save As, and if you want it to the PDF format, or you can directly print it from DIALux. But, okay, just click on the PDF format, and then you can choose which pages, or if you want everything.
And there is also quality, yeah.
Yes.
300 dpi, and the type of compression. If you need the smaller file, I expect you can choose lower resolution or quality. Okay.
Okay, and just by clicking on OK, it will be exported and save. We can save it. And yes, you can see it's really quick. So now the document is open on my computer, but you are not able to see it.
But it's done.
It's done. Yeah. Okay. So
are there any questions, Daniel? Is everything okay? Okay. So there are no more questions. But if you have some, or tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, please send it to us. You can use the email tech support at halla.cz. It's our tech support email. We will give you answer, and we will also send you an email with the link to this webinar, the records of the webinar.
Yes, okay. And we would like to thank you for your attention and say goodbye and see you next time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.